This is for mathematical methods. It's Heffernan 2020 exam 1 question number 6. So I have this graph. It's the square root of x and it's got a restricted domain of 0 to infinity. Beautiful. So looking at that, the domain of f is 0 to infinity and the range of f is also 0 to infinity. Find the rule and the domain of the inverse. Well, I know the domain of the inverse will equal the range, which will be 0 to infinity. So that's one of the answers. For finding the rule, y equals root x, swap, so x equals root y, square both sides, x squared equals y. So the rule of the inverse is x squared, and the domain is x bigger than or equal to 0. Okay. A point P lies on the graph of F and Q is 1, 0. F is this one. Okay, so there is my F and there's point P. Therefore, the coordinates of that are P and root P. And Q is at 1, 0. The distance from point P to Q is a minimum. So I want that distance there. So I need to use the distance rule. The distance rule would be the square root of y2 minus y1 squared plus x2 minus x1 squared. That's going to be the square root of y2 is 0 minus root p squared plus 1 minus p squared. Okay, so that's going to be the square root of minus root p squared is p, plus 1 squared is 1, minus 2 times 1 times p is 2p, plus p squared. So that gives me the square root of p squared minus p plus 1. Beautiful. So that's D. I need to find the minimum, the distance between is the minimum, find the x-coordinate of point P for it to be a minimum. So I need to take the derivative. So I've actually got D is p squared minus p minus 1 or plus 1 to the half. So D with respect to p will be a half. P squared minus p plus 1 to the negative a half times the derivative of the inside, which is 2p minus 1, which is 2p minus 1 over 2 square root of p squared minus p plus 1. And for d dash to equal 0, the only thing that can be 0 is the top. 2p minus 1 equals 0, 2p equals 1, p equals a half. So what is the x-coordinate of p? The x-coordinate of p is at a half. P is there, so that will give you the shortest possible distance. So x equals a half is going to be the coordinate of p.